Peace. Reminisce, reminisce, reminisce. Carrying the traditions of St. Kofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we've forgotten. I go by Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Mindbender Supreme in the cut. What up?
That's it, man.
Good.
Representing, man. Yo, there is a lot that's been happening this week. So much is going down. A lot of energy, man. Like, it's all over the place right now. All over the place right now, man.
Yeah. It's a very chaotic, tumultuous year, man. But we still here. We people holding on, surfing the
Yup.
wave, highs and lows, but still head above water. So you got to
Yeah.
appreciate it, and and keep going for those who aren't here with us in the physical.
True indeed, man. True indeed. We're definitely a representation for that, and we're always going to be striving for balance and anything that's progressive that's going to push our peoples forward, man. So we get out of this hamster wheel, man. This loop that we're in.
No doubt, because Babylon don't want to see us at our best. So like we just got to break out and keep going and keep dodging and weaving, bobbing
That's
and
it, man.
weaving, ducking and keep on fighting the good fight. Because
That's it.
man, ain't the more things change, the more they stay the same, man. Like same old oppression, same old bullshit, same old ignorance and violence keeping us from achieving the best world that we could have for each other. So
Yep.
yeah, man. Where should we start?
Well, I mean, we can start off with some good vibes, some positive vibes. As you can see, man, I'm wearing a special jersey today, man. After
Yes.
number 50, man. Whose number is that, man? Whose number is that?
It's the number of Vinsanity. Yo, that's the number for Air Canada. Yo,
Mm,
big brother Vince, yo, man. Oh, salute to him. Man, yes, he got his Raptor retire jersey in the rafters. I'm
yep.
getting tongue tied. It was so beautiful to see, man. It was really
Mm,
beautiful, man. He's just an upstanding dude,
yeah.
man. Vince is like, you know, he's always just, he's had his love for Toronto, and he's just never really like. He's like, yeah, I've gone to other teams and shit, but like, I love
Yeah.
what I did here, and I will always respect it and remember it. So
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. So big up to Vince, man. Of course, the boy jerseys in the cut representing. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So
I
that's
got
pretty peace, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
I gotta say real quickly, I just been so busy lately. They have a beautiful mural for Vince Carter when he's doing one of
Uh,
his beautiful dunks for the dunk contest. It's up just at the
oh,
bottom of my block, literally half a block away from me. Not
I gotta go
even,
check that out, man. I gotta go check
yeah,
that
it's
out.
not even 100 steps. But I knew about the game and the retirement jersey, but I didn't know about the revealing dedication ceremony.
Mm,
So I just saw the footage of it at the end of the day, and I was like, "Yo, he was on my block. Like Vince was
that's
here
good.
when
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yes.
when they
Yes.
pulled the
Yes.
thing down, and I just didn't like. I was seeing it come along during the week. I
I
was
remember that.
watching them shoot, and
Yes.
I was like, "Okay, this is dope." But I'm like a little pissed off that I was like, "Fuck, man, Vince Carter was at the bottom of my block." And I just didn't get to see him unveil it, but I get to see it anytime I walk by it. It's great. I'm happy for him. And like, I saw a Vince Carter Raptor game, and I never got. I don't
That's
think
what's
I.
up,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. That's on my block. That's at the bottom of my street.
That's
I actually,
fire, yo. I know.
yeah, I
Oh, I
would
know
put
exactly where that is. Right. Oh, yeah. That's like a hop, skip, and a jump for you.
Redrin. That is like, yeah, that is literally 40 seconds from my house. So like, I'm right there every day of my life, basically. But yeah, man, yo, I got some pictures of it while it was coming together. So I posted it last week while he was putting it up.
Wow.
But yeah, it's beautiful, and shout out to Vince. His mom was there and his son was there, and he was just being amazing, like
Yeah.
pure Toronto tribute. And like, yeah, like like across the street on the other side was a really beautiful Kawhi Leonard mural that was put up in 2019 after we
Okay.
won. And there's been 3 or 4 Kawhi murals that were down around Queen Street, and they're all
Yeah.
gone now,
Oh,
sadly.
wow.
Yeah, all of them are
Why?
gone. It's
Why are they gone? Like, why? Why do you say that?
People, one building got destroyed. One building like removed the mural and put up some other graffiti, and then another one they just painted over it with more graffiti. And
Mm.
I'm like, yo, why don't you keep that shit for life? What are you talking about? Like, but
Yeah,
I hope this. I'm
part
just
of the
saying that
history,
because
man.
I hope this Carter mural stays up forever and nobody does nothing to it.
I I hope so, man, because he definitely represented for us, man. He did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was definitely instrumental, man. So that's peace, man. That's peace. Let's continue it off with some things that's coming up in the news that you just brought up to me, which I was not aware about, which is the weekend has announced a new album here.
Yep.
You know, which saying that it will conclude a trilogy with new album Hurry Up Tomorrow. So, and as you were talking about, you were saying that this is actually connected to a film as well. So it's not
Uh,
just an album, but it's a film. But this isn't just some type of, like Netflix release, like, on HBO, like what he did. Like you're saying that this is going to be like in the theater, like there's,
yeah,
big production.
Yeah, Barry Keegan. I don't even Keoghan. Barry Keegan is in it, and yeah, it's like a Lionsgate release. It looks like it's going to be a full-on like 90-minute feature-length film with a international worldwide release. So
Okay.
he's dropping a movie with his album, which, well, like, it's like Mariah Carey Glitter. There's a couple, like 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, when he dropped the movie and the soundtrack kind of thing. So,
Mm.
it's been done before, but it hasn't been done in a while. And like, I don't know why Drake's not doing acting with his movies. I mean, his music, but I want him to. And it's a good thing that weekend is. It's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. I mean, it's, for certain artists, I think it makes a lot of sense. So I'm sure we may see something in the future with Drake, or he might put out his own productions or whatnot. Who knows? But we'll
Yeah,
see what the future holds.
I have a feeling that, and I hope that is
Yeah.
what Drake and 50 Cent are actually collaborating together on
Mm.
when
If
they
there's
link up
like
like
a,
eventually.
oh my gosh, like if there is like a Toronto version of Power, or where it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like one of the characters is like, yo, I'm going to Toronto, and it just becomes
yeah,
like, you know what I mean, like a destination. Even if it's just for a couple of episodes, we're cool with that.
yes,
Just
hell yeah.
get us, a foot in the door, yo.
That's it, That's it. The possibilities are there, and
Yeah.
yeah, yo. So yeah, shout out to hey man, yeah. So shout out to Vince Carter, man. That was that ceremony was great. Um, Drake was mean mugging DeMar DeRozan.
I did see that. I did see that. And you know what? Let me see if I can pull something on, man. Yeah. Like why don't you build on that?
Well, DeMar DeRozan did find his face peeking out and popping up at the Not Like Us video. So when he's back in town in Toronto in this like special moment for the Raptors and for Carter, DeMar DeRozan is floating around, and Drake is like, "Nah, bruv, nah, ain't no love for you around here.
Yeah,
We
I'll let
we
you know.
ain't we ain't Twitch siders, so I can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at Drake for that.
I mean, hey man, like when you're, it's the realm, like music, basketball, it's all in the space of entertainment. It's interchangeable, so that's the arena that they're in.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I thought they were gonna show like the clip of him, but this guy is just talking in front of the video, so I'm just gonna stop sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo. Well. Well. We got to do it at one point. So, gotta say. I found out actually right before I went to bed last night. I was going to bed at like 3 o'clock, and I just saw somebody online and it posted, "Rest in peace to Quincy Jones." And I
Mm.
was like, wow, man, we've lost, wow, Big Brother, super legend. The mother of Thriller and Off the
Yeah.
Wall. Ain't no MJ classics.
And he
You
was
know?
91, man. So that's incredible, man. That's what a legacy. I think I'm actually going to watch the Quincy documentary. I believe it was on, I don't know, I can't remember what streaming platform though, but I remember when I watched it, it was pretty incredible just to see his come up and just the extensive, projects that he's sprinkled his magic on, like just random things like the theme song for like Sanford and Son, and I'm sure there's other ones that I can't remember right now. Of course, Fresh Prince, but he was literally in culture. Like he really shaped the soundtrack
Yep.
to not just our lives, man, but for generations.
Our lives, our
Exactly.
parents'
Yeah.
lives, our
Yeah.
grandparents were jamming to artists that he was working with. This man worked with Frank Sinatra and like
Right.
legends, Ella Fitzgerald, and like, yo, I mean, thank you for the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like at a time
No.
where nobody was investing in a black
No.
TV, like a hip hop idea. Quincy was smart enough to be like, bruv, how is
Yeah.
Will Smith a fucking music star and we can't make a TV show out of him? Makes Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So, and that's just
It was the perfect storm, man. That was like the perfect storm.
for real, yo. Like that's just, yeah, man. Yo,
And
yeah,
this
like
article's
who?
highlighting, a lot of, the works that he's done. And it surpasses outside of the realms of just like hip hop and R&B and whatnot, So he's worked with countless artists, and so I encourage everyone, man, go check out the documentary, Quincy, and learn about the legend, man. What a gift. Give thanks.
Yep. And I quickly wanted to say I never got to meet Quincy, unfortunately, but I did get to meet his son QD3,
Oh, same way
and
here.
yeah, I got to meet his son in Austin, Texas, in 2011. And
What?
I will never forget. I had a substantial conversation with him, and it was really, he was listening to me, and he was a super cool dude, and he was real. I bumped into him. He's like, yo, what are you doing here? I was like, yo, you're QD3. I've watched some of your documentaries. Because I have lots of DVDs, and
Right.
he's made Tupac documentaries and stuff like. I'm like, bro,
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
like, I totally remember QD3 as like intro screens for things I've seen, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
I watched your stuff, and he's like, oh, thanks. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Toronto, and he goes, yo, Toronto. This was 2011.
Okay.
And he's like, Toronto. He's like, I've heard good. I will never forget him saying, I could like draw the picture of
Yeah.
him. We're in a tent, and he's like, and I just saw Bone Thugs and Harmony. We came from a
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony concert, and QD3 was like, yo, Toronto. I've heard good things about that city. And that's exactly what he said. And I was like,
Right.
yo, dude, you're tapped in. If 2011, you're like a LA dude who's
Right.
like, yo, man, he's like not
Yeah.
hating on
It's
him, like,
like,
oh, like, yeah. So he was like, yo, I've heard good things about that city. He's like, yeah, I heard the hip hop is good. And I said to him, I'm
yeah.
like, if you ever make a documentary on Toronto hip hop, man, I was like, I'd love to help. And I was like, I think it would be a good story. And he's like, yeah. He's like, man, you never know. But yeah, it was a really good conversation I had with his son, and the
Amazing.
dude was just like super down to earth and like wasn't arrogant at
That's
all. It was
always,
good.
that's always good to know, man, because sometimes I always think about celebrity children and, when they're just kind of like born into like fame and status and whatnot. Um, like what kind of values what do they value, and clearly, he is showing, again, that foundation that you're speaking about, man. So that's always refreshing and good to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Like you left me. I was so happy that I met him once, man. I was like, yo, man, there's certain people that you're like, you know what, this person isn't too high on the radar, but to me, he
Yeah.
means something. And like, I got hella DVDs, so like anybody who knows anything knows that like QD3 documentaries were like a staple in hip hop in the
Mhm.
DVD
Yes.
CDR era.
DVD, CDR, yes.
So like, I think I'm not necessarily, he didn't quite produce Beef, but some other Beef adjacent
Yeah, Jason, yeah.
DVD he was like definitely the producer of. So
Right.
yeah. But
Okay, man.
yeah,
Well, peace to the
anyways,
legacy.
just shout out to the Rashida and Kidada and all of them. So it
That's
must be
what's up,
hard.
man.
Yeah.
No, man. Yeah, yeah. I know that next week is going to be the screening for "It Was All a Dream," the hip hop documentary. Um, what exactly do you know about the documentary? Like based on like your understanding.
I saw a trailer of it, and what it looks like is some unreleased footage that Dream Hampton has, because Dream Hampton was a writer for The Source and one of Biggie's actual like real life friends. And she's got lots of personal footage. Yeah, that's her right there. She's got lots of personal footage of Biggie Smalls. And she's just like, oh, I think she's like, oh, I found a box with a bunch of Biggie Smalls tapes. Yeah, right there. And she's like, yeah, I just didn't know I was sitting on all this stuff. And it's classic 90s footage. So she just put some memories together.
That's peace.
Yeah,
Yeah, personal
yeah, they're
archive.
right there. Personal archive. Yeah.
Well, you know something. You know this is actually inspirational, man, because this kind of reminds me of um like the things that we are sitting on. Like I got tapes. I know you got tapes, and it's just one of those reminders that it's timeless, and people are always going to want to have insight into the energy that was happening back in the 90s, because like hip hop has evolved so much since then. But to go back and to see the footage, like what were people wearing, how were people talking, like what was the politics of the day, what was influencing the music, like all of these things become instrumental in like just like contextualizing our experiences.
Look at
So it's
like
all Sankofa. Look, right?
all of that is like every single element. You look at Guru and you're like, Guru's not here, Biggie's not here. So many people aren't here. Like, what were they wearing? What jewelry did they wear? What
Exactly.
hats? What shirts?
Yeah, man.
what slang did they wear? Like, what were these people embodying that we don't even have anymore? Because so
Thank
many
you.
people, so many of them were just originals, one of one. You're like, yo, man, there's never been anyone close to Biggie Smalls. There's
And
like so many of these legends.
can
Even people who weren't even like mad superstars, who were just like community people,
yeah,
like a Craig Mack or a Guru. Guru was
right.
like a B-level superstar.
Yeah, yeah,
He wasn't like a
right.
Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Guru was for the heads, and any head who knows him, you're like, yo, that's hip hop right there.
Right there.
He don't need to sell 3
Yeah,
million records to be a
right,
legend. We
right.
know. So like,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah,
yeah, and these people, once they're gone, like the vibration never comes back. So we got to
yeah.
every single video and picture and be like, yo, man, I don't care if he's not rapping, I don't care. Biggie Smalls just like buying a hamburger, show me that footage, man. Like, just walking the block, like just
Facts.
living life. Like, we need that.
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, it's so instrumental, man, because I'm thinking about some of the footage that I have, and back in the day, those times when we were selling CDs on Queen Street, you know, um, we spent a lot of time just like outdoors, and we would film just like interviewing random people on the street. And I'm excited to actually go back to this footage because, mind you, like these tapes are pretty much from the time period of like say 2005, or maybe even a little earlier, say 2004 to like 2009, and then after that I switched over to like digital. But from the tapes, a lot of like street interviews and recordings and whatnot, and to capture what Toronto looked like all like like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure I got some footage of like in Eaton Center, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, it's like when back in the day when you had the long escalator that like went
Yeah.
up. I might
Yes.
have footage of that. I might
Yes.
have footage of that. So
Yes, before the big reno. Yeah,
before
man.
the big
Before,
reno, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when
yeah. Oh my God, I see it in my
so
head now.
yeah, like stuff like that. Because it's so legendary, man. Because back in the day, like all the downtown Mandem would just like par in that circle. So for those who don't know, it was like Eaton Center and this one escalator that would go up to like the exit at right at Young and Dundas Square. But this escalator would kind of like lead into almost like this like cul-de-sac kind of vibe, and
Yeah,
you would just see like bare downtown mans that like if you're not used to that kind of vibration, it might feel like intimidating, and you'd be like, "Yo,
overwhelming. Yeah, for
overwhelming."
real. Man, mans are just posted up. Like, no, man's posted. Like,
Yeah,
bro, like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I could be holding. You don't know what I'm holding, man.
Down south
You
Toronto,
get
man.
served a knife, a gun, crack, weed, heroin. Like, you get a variety of things, good and bad.
Wow. And also too, and that was like kind of the period where I'd done that square where actually no, this might have been a little bit late. I was thinking of what do you call it? The shopping, it was almost like a flea market, like the that used to be just you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, just like north
yeah,
north of Dundas.
yeah. It was, yeah. What was it called? Young Dundas shopping.
Uh
Young Dundas. Young Dundas. Yeah, yeah. It was on the right
that
hand
one.
side when you were
Exactly.
looking north. Yeah, man. Like that.
On the right hand side.
Yo, man. It's, oh my god. We lost something big. Like
Like
that
these are
flea
like these
market
cultural
was
spaces. It was a flea, yeah.
that. Yeah, because it was all. It was like it was black people. It was
Yeah.
like East Indian, like
Just the
Iranian, and
hustling, man. Yeah. Everyone
just
trying
hustling.
to make it.
And
Yeah.
selling, beaties and gold and backpacks and just,
Beaties.
yeah, just hustling a couple
Oh
CDR
man.
sellers in there. Yo, man.
Wow.
Oh, I remember. Oh, it was so good to go in there and just get discounted gears and just get the
All of
hookup.
that, man. And then just like up a little bit, a couple stores up, from there was the Big Slice. And Big Slice was always like, the spot for your pizzas and it'd be like these big slices, share it, demand them and whatnot. And it was one of the only spots that was always open like late at night. You can always guarantee go there and grab something to eat, after coming from the club or doing whatever. And so, anyways, I got
Big
footage
Slice.
of those kinds of adventures, just like going around, random protests, like random things that are happening. So, seeing old footage is very comforting for me because it just reminds us that it's gold and it really gives like an accurate depiction of what was happening. It's like a real time machine. It's like people and right now we're in a time now where people are curious about the past like that. At least in recent histories, you know what I mean? So like the 90s, early 2000s, maybe not so much the 80s, but 90s, like my kids are very intrigued by the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like they love that stuff. And I'm
Well,
like,
it's
I was there.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that's the thing,
Yeah,
because like, it wasn't the origin of hip hop, but it was the origin of a time in hip hop that was way more precious than at the time.
yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna say it for the rest of my natural
yeah.
born life, because hell, man, there was record companies that started that time, clothing companies,
Exactly.
trends
Everything.
and genres. Hip hop did a whole bunch of things at that time that the world was like, "Yo, this is a trend and this is garbage, and nobody wants this a year from now." And one
What it did.
generation later, everybody wants
Yeah,
every scrap
yeah,
of it, of everything that we did. People have recreated movies and
yeah.
documentaries, and people like clone the '90s and make a whole like industry off of it, of being like, yo, I pretended I was there. Like, bruv, you weren't there. You were just trying to study it and like clone it for a new
Right.
generation. But like, yo, man, yeah, without the morals of it either, and like, yeah, man, like it was about originality. So that's the one thing.
Yeah. And that's what really elevated the it's so crazy, man, because that originality is what fueled the culture. It's what accelerated it. I mean, it's what like made it like progressive because you had to like be like extra good at your craft to be
To
unique
stand
and
out.
something interesting and to stand out. Yo, that's like a really when you think about it, man, it's like a slim tightrope to walk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like to do
yeah.
all that and to be successful enough to stand out and all that. And then, it's like there's like a shift where, it's like everything's just commodified or whatever. So now it's the cookie cutter. So now it's like, hey, look, just fit into this mold and then we move on that. So the question is like, I don't know, like has creativity like, suffered or is it just moving where it needs to go?
I feel like it's greatly suffered, because if creativity hadn't suffered, then people wouldn't be so nostalgic for the past, because we weren't in the 90s,
Ooh.
we weren't
Woo.
nostalgic, because we weren't nostalgic for fucking Sugar Hill Gang and Cool Mo D and Run DMC.
Yo.
With all due respect, in 1993,
Interesting.
in '93, we
Interesting.
were looking forward way more than we were looking back. We weren't being like, yo, things were better in 1979 and 1980, and
Mm,
1982's hip hop is better. We are like, that's cool. That's great. But these guys are rapping old school. My name is Nas, and I'm going to write poetry on a level nobody has ever thought. My name is Killer Priest. My name, like, cats were just advancing at next levels. And, like,
yeah.
I don't want to diss these kids. Kids are doing what they're doing these
Yeah.
days, but I'm waiting for somebody to be like, this kid is 17 years old, and he's writing something that nobody is writing in the culture. And you don't really hear that anymore, where kids are like, this cat is like the future. There's a couple cats that I'm like, I hear a couple kids where I'm like, yeah, you're pretty dope, but like it's not like the second coming of Nas once again for this generation. Like, which is like it's like the kids of this generation, unfortunately, have wanted to be. It shouldn't be the second coming of Nas, but it's like another cat who wants to change the game as much as Nas. But now
Yeah.
they just want to be like the second coming of Drake, the second coming of Lil Wayne. They're like, I just want to be like like kind of like an
So,
echo of something that has already happened.
yo, like everything you're saying is so interesting. When you're talking about this new generation that wants to just be like nostalgic and whatnot, and just like this like focus. And then when in the '90s, you're right, like we weren't. I mean, we did still listen to like old school song, but it wasn't not like how it is now, like nostalgia. Like I'm super nostalgic. Like I'm just in the '90s, and a lot of these young cats coming up are there as well. And it really does speak to one the generation. I feel that there is a population that is looking for more like authentic music that aligns with what we were raised in. And to add to that point, over the weekend, it was the week. No, it was last Thursday. I went to a concert. I went to see Sacred Souls. I don't know if you heard of this group, this band. Well,
I,
Sacred
I,
Souls, they're from California. I think from like San Francisco, San Diego, or something like that. And their music is, I would kind of classify it as like that classic Motown kind of sound. You know what I mean? But with like a modern kind of edge. So it's like it's cool out
oh,
there. It's yeah, it's a vibe. Like it sounds like they're from that era. And I'm like, yo, this is good. But obviously with it's modern or whatever. Classic Motown kind of sound. You know what I mean? But with like a modern kind of edge. So it's like it's cool out
oh,
there. It's yeah, it's a vibe. Like it sounds like they're from that era. And I'm like, yo, this is good. But obviously with it's modern or whatever. At that show, to my surprise, the majority of people, the concert goers, were young people. And I mean young people like under the age of 30 for sure. You know what I'm
amazing.
saying? And like packed, like the vast majority. So like this is like a band that has tapped into and connected with like a younger generation, even though it's bringing like this old soul like vibe. So there was like older folks, what I'm saying, like even folks older than myself that were there as well, because this is the music that we appreciate. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, like I dig this kind of vibe. So it does speak to, and I think you nailed it, right? Because of the state of where things are right now, this is why people are so nostalgic and going backwards and reinventing things from that era over now. So yeah, that's very true. That's very true. you know
That's it.
uh,
Like that originality, like because we're celebrating things like literally. Nas is in Europe right now traveling for a 30th anniversary for Illmatic, and
yeah.
every pretty much the 25-year anniversary, 30-year
Yep.
anniversary of 93 till infinity,
Yeah.
25-year
Yeah.
anniversary of Paid in Full and stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry, but I
Yeah.
don't know too many albums in the last 5 or 10 years that will have 30-year anniversaries that people will give a fuck about, because people don't really even give a
Mhm.
fuck. Like, it's not like a 10-year anniversary of something that's come out in the last
Yeah.
10 years, because unfortunately I think it'll only be a few artists that are, it's really like Kanye is one of them, who will be like, yeah, my twisted dark beautiful fantasy 20 years from now, I'll be like, yeah, that was an epic moment. But like, how many albums from the 2010s are really like, yo man, this shifted the whole game and like was a
Mhm.
super original piece of art? Like, nah
Yeah.
man, like cats are probably stealing from Lil Wayne or stealing from Drake or stealing from fucking a variety of rappers. And
Yeah.
so yeah, man, yo, it's just you're absolutely right, man. Like the nostalgia is just people keep looking back because they want something with more substance instead of something that's just popular. Because popular things just
Yes.
change all
Yeah.
the time. So
Yeah. And that stuff that has more like substance, it's a risk, because it means that you have to go into yourself to be authentic, to bring out, um, that artistic expression, as opposed to just doing what everybody else is doing. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And for
take
me,
a
like
lot of
I,
courage.
I I prefer that because that's playing more so like the long term game. Because I one thing for me why I've never really followed trends or follow things that's like outside of myself is, I don't want to do something and then like like years later I look back and I was like, this is some idiot thing. Like, and I knew that. Like, why did I do this? Like it wasn't authentic to myself. I want like whatever I do, I can stand by that and be like, yeah. In that moment, I may not be in that headspace right now, but when I made that art piece, it's like, yeah, that was true in that moment, 100%. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's great, because I see art as also like a diary. It also helps us to kind of like look at ourselves objectively and then to better ourselves essentially. You know what I mean? So if we're creating art that isn't authentic and that is, just based on what we feel other people want, like what kind of reflections can we get out of that?
Very few, fam. You're absolutely right. And like it doesn't feed us. And that's the stuff that we don't reflect on. Even if it's fun and silly and whatever, like temporarily
Yeah,
entertaining, you don't return to it like 6 months later. Be like when you're like soul searching or like in a dark reflective place,
yeah,
somebody has died or like something happened. You're not going to go back to some bullshit piece of music that really didn't speak to you much. You're gonna be like, yo, man, I need that comfort food album, that real shit,
yeah.
man. I need to listen to some Prodigy right now. I need to listen to like
Uh,
somebody who's like with a real voice who said some real shit, man. Like, so
Shout out to
yeah, man.
Prodigy, man. It was his birthday just the other day.
That's right. That's right.
Glad you put it in, man. Because Prodigy. Okay, man. Like, we gotta give Prodigy, some love. Um,
All day, man.
one of my favorite, like, there is. Oh, I gotta start watching the series again. There was like a series on YouTube. It was called like The Therapist. Like, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before because it's just that powerful. But The Therapist is this therapist guy interviews hip hop artists. So a few people who've been on his show, including like Young Ma, Joe Budden, um, Joey Badass, and like a few others. But I'm just remembering like the Prodigy one and just like how profound it was and like his insights when he's taking care of his body and moving from like that gangster kind of like vibe, but then also evolving. And it's beautiful to see and allow him to evolve into this space of like spirituality and just like awareness and just trying to free the mind, and changing his diet and all these different things, so big up to Prodigy, man. Like he definitely left his mark and made his spot in the hip hop scene. I know that Havoc is going to be in Toronto. um well, they're doing the Mob Team tour, so that's going to be like with Havoc. I think Big Noid and some other artists are part of that as well. And if I'm
Dope.
not mistaken, that's either the end of November or the beginning of December, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around
Oh,
there, but we'll
cool.
keep you tuned, man. So keep an eye
That's
out for
tight.
that. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to P, man, forever, man. Keep it
He,
thorough.
he keep it there. Oh man,
I throw
man,
a
yo.
TV at you.
Throw a TV at you, crazy. Yeah, man, straight up.
Yo,
Yo, well, I got at my actually my probably my lowest point in all of my life of hating hip hop, being frustrated with music and all that
yeah,
stuff. I didn't make music for a long time. I was uninspired, wasn't hearing nothing that I
yeah,
liked. I was like, yo, man, I can't give up on something really shitty happened. And I was like, I can't give up on hip hop. I didn't come this far to like give up on hip hop. Fuck. I gotta find my love for it again.
yeah.
First song I listened to was Keep It Thorough by Prodigy. Just press play on that. I was like,
Yo, you
oh
know
shit.
something?
I was like,
It's
yep.
funny you say that. It's funny you say that because I've been periodically like, playing that song, and I'm like, This song is so it's so great on many levels, man.
So
Because
many levels.
one, like, okay, the commercial success that it had for being like just a straight up hip hop record, again, with no hook. It didn't follow the standard industry format. Like, even like the backstory of like the song. Apparently that record was like a freestyle, and he was like pissed off at something. I can't remember what happened, was whatever, but it was based off of that energy, and that's when he craves like, yo, man, went into the into the booth and just did his thing. And
Wow.
it's crazy to me, man, because it's the raw emotion, the raw reflection, but also it like goes against like the standard, but still met the standard.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, remade the standard.
There we go.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
so right, man. I was, yeah, this was like, yeah, this is like, if this isn't a banger of a single, you don't know what a hip hop banger single is, even though
oh
this is
man.
like no single you have ever heard before. The beat goes hard and the rhymes go hard. Like, what the fuck more can you ask for? You can't. Like,
And it bumps in the club, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, you're vibing out, and this is something that you can get down with, right? So,
yeah, yo, straight up, man. Yeah,
oh
that
man,
that that
rest in
record,
peace, man. Prodigy.
Prodigy has brought me to tears a couple times, man. Just like,
Yeah,
this dude is so real. They don't, like, people aren't this. I'm like, yo, this is like the next realest dude after Tupac, man. Like, like,
yeah,
but
man.
yeah, yeah,
Rest in peace.
love to Prodigy. Oh yeah, man. So that's dope that Havoc's coming. Shout out to Havoc. Just I heard that he said there's gonna be a new posthumous Mob Deep album, and with all new
Okay.
Prodigy verses. That
Peace.
he said that he's like 75% done it.
Okay. Okay.
So sometime next year we should get one, hopefully get one more Mob Deep album. And
That's peace. Okay.
oh yeah, I ain't mad. I think it's
Yeah.
Havoc and Alchemist working together on it, and I'm like, that's who I want working on. I'm like,
As
I
it
ain't
should
mad.
be, man. Yeah.
I have faith in those guys, and yeah, I think we're in good hands with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. As it should be, man. Problem, man.
word.
So, but before we go, I know that, yo, it's election time.
It's oh shit.
So it's about, the clock is ticking. Results are going to be in just now, man. Just now.
Just like tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow night, we're gonna find out the direction of America for the next next 4 years or the next 50 years.
Oh boy.
Like,
Let's see, man. Fingers
yeah,
crossed, man. That hey, man, we just gonna have to wait and see.
gonna have to
Gonna
wait
have
and
to wait
see,
and
yo.
see.
Gonna have to wait and see. So, yo, like, peace to justice and human rights. That's all I'm gonna say. And may the best women win.
That's it. That's it, man. Peace to everyone. Let's come by the show. Always representing, man. Think anything else you want to add before we
Uh,
sign off?
Maybe just a quick little shout out to that new
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg song. The new Snoop single from the Missionary record is coming out. That's
Okay.
just, I gotta salute that, because that's, yeah, Snoop Dogg and Snoop and Dre made an album again, and
Yeah.
it's really funny to have their first. I think they're actually dropping it because it's almost the 30th anniversary of Doggy Style, so that's why they're
Okay.
yeah. So, and they're calling it Missionary, and the album cover is a condom, and it's amazing. Like, it's
In doggy style fashion, like,
and
it's
Doggy, like, that's like that play on words is brilliant, and like for them to come together 30 years later and do that is really a full circle moment, especially because, like, I just want to salute, because I saw Snoop sitting in front of something and he was like, Death Row, Aftermath, Interscope, and it was all the logos. And I'm like, you owning Death Row now is so black owned,
yes,
beautiful
yes, man.
power.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Death Row's gone through bankruptcy, toy companies have
yeah,
owned it. Suge fucked it up for a minute. Suge kind of did good for a
yeah.
minute, fucked it up again. And like yo, if anybody should own it, it should be you, Snoop.
Facts.
and, and
Yeah.
like, and he
You're
put
doing
out a
really
new
right.
East Siders album, and he put out a new Dog Pound album. So he's like really taking care of like West Coast music legacy. And
Let's go.
and the last thing I'll say is, officially on the record, it looks like there is going to be a song that features Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and Eminem, produced by Dr. Dre.
Let's go. Let's do this,
It's
man. Let's
happening. The
go.
song is called Guns and Smoke, and it happened. It happened. We can't wait.
All right, man. We're gonna make it happen like that. All right. So that's something to look forward to. Lots going on, man. So by the next time we're on here and we're building, man, there's gonna be a lot to reflect on, man. So
Yeah,
who knows? It might even be like an extended episode, man. We gonna see.
for sure, yo. So yeah, yo. Thanks for booking in early, and
That's it,
yeah,
man.
man. I'll see you next week. Talk to you in a. Don't know what the world gonna look like, but we gonna keep riding, man.
Yeah,
Telling the
that's
truth,
it, man.
looking backward and forward, and just speaking clear focus and truth to power.
That's it, man. So we're gonna sign off like that. Reminisce show, carrying the traditions of St. Kofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we have forgotten, bring back what is useful, man. We do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live
Oh,
Eastern time.
oh,
Oh, one
real
more.
quick. I don't know if we didn't get a chance to, but just rest in peace to Clark Kent.
Yes.
Yes, big rest in peace to
Yeah,
DJ
man.
Clark Kent.
Peace.
Yeah, just had to shout him out because he
Yes.
actually introduced Biggie Smalls to Jay-Z, made a lot of beautiful records. That brother was a beautiful hip hop soldier, and we lost the real one there. So we love you, Clark Kent.
Absolutely.
We're gonna carry the torch for you, but yes, Sankofa.
Peace. Let's go.